Hi everyone, welcome to week number 9 of oral communication. And today, these are the things that we need to discuss and talk about. So, first one, we have to define what speech act is and identify their types. Second is to discuss how the statements chosen are accurate for each type of speech act. And lastly is to for you learners to deliver your memorize speech. Okay, for today's lesson, so we're going to talk about three things: the types of speech acts, the indirect speech acts, and of course, performatives. And lastly, it's the classification of speech acts. Okay, so when we talk about speech act, okay, these are utterances, okay, that a speaker makes to achieve an intent effect. This is how you communicate, okay, your thoughts, your ideas, your opinion, even, hey, your complaints, hey, even your favors to other people. Okay, next, actions that occur thanks to language are considered speech act. The effect of your words to other people and how they act, okay, upon the words you said to them, okay, is thanks to speech act. Let's say, for example, my speech motivates you, okay, to learn to be confident and such. And if you learn to be confident and act confidently, that's thanks to speech act, okay? Also, speech act could contain one word or many sentences. Let's say, for example, I said run. Okay, it's a simple word that's just one word, meaning I want you to actually run or do the action of running. Okay, so again, speech act is word or sentences, okay, that mean something and wants you to act on something. Okay, now we have a question here: how do cultural differences affect the way people use speech act? Okay, of course, our context, okay, or contextualize experiences and learning, okay, can affect, okay, how we use speech act. Let's say, for example, here in the Philippines, we Filipinos, we love to say, sige, bahala ka. Okay? Like, for example, sige, bahala ka in four different meaning. Okay? First, sige, bahala ka. No? Very supportive. Next, sige, bahala ka. Nagtatampo na. Okay? Sige, bahala ka. You decide on your own. Sige, bahala ka. Wala na akong pake sa'yo. Bahala ka sa buhay mo. Okay? So, sige, bahala ka is an speech act. Okay? That could mean a lot of things. Okay? Here with us Filipinos, because it's one of the phrases, okay, we use every time. Okay? So that's how speech act works. Okay, I say one word or sentences, but it could mean many different things. Let's say, for example, I said, Titus, it's hot in here. Okay? It's like me telling you na, oh, naiinitan si Ma'am Peach. Please, turn on the electric fan. Okay? Or, painumin niyo naman ako ng tubig. Okay? There are a lot of ways for us to express, no, ourselves. Just like girls, diba? Girls won't say directly that they want these things, but they will say to you, ay, it's cute, no? Ay, I want to try that, no? And of course, you boys, ay, yun yung gusto niya. So, we pick up, okay, from the words of other people. It's not just on the gender, no? I just make girls as an example because they're the ones who use indirect, no? With a hidden intention beneath, no? Their words that they are saying. Okay, even boys, when you ask them, are you okay? They will tell you, yeah, I'm okay. But honestly, they're not okay. Okay? And they want you to do something. Okay? And speech acts, okay, aren't determined just simply the words alone. Okay? They are shaped, strengthened by our intention, our goal, our objective when we're speaking to other people. Again, the contextualized experience, the context in terms of the situation, because we need to learn to read the room. No? And of course, our relationship with other people? Are we intimate with that person? Are we casual with that person? Those are things that we need to consider. And of course, our cultural differences as well. And the way we speak, no? The tone of our voices. Let's say, for example, they talk to Caviteños, Batangueños, no? They are brave, no? And matigas yung pananalita. So, meaning, no? It might be misunderstood by other people. Okay, now who taught us no about this theory of speech act? No, we have this British philosopher and also linguist, no, J.L. Austin, no, and again best known for his work of speech act theory, no, that talks about emotional appeal, rhetorical strategies, evidence, and of course actions, no, how we act. That's why it's speech acts, no. We put together both the way we speak and the way we act. Okay? So words equates to action. Okay? So that's what J.L. Austin believes so. No? That words no aren't or doesn't mean anything without actions, and action without words are confusing. Okay? So ibig sabihin in case of relationship no with other people, mixed signals equates to no already. Okay? So that's how we apply speech acts. Okay? In our real life experiences. Now, let's proceed with speech acts and the three types of it. Now, the first one is locutionary, the second one is illocutionary, and the third one is perlocutionary. So, lahat to nanggaling with the term locus, meaning to speak. Okay, but isa-isahin natin, what does it mean, no? With when we say locutionary, illocutionary, and perlocutionary. But you just have to remember this LINP. When we say locutionary act, meaning we're talking about the literal meaning. What I said, that's it. No need to overthink. No, exactly what I meant about it. Meaning I'm very straightforward and you have to take no my words literally. Illocutionary act, this one is, you know, beneath no the words that we are telling because I stands for our intention. Okay? And perlocutionary is how okay we proceed when we hear no the speech or the words from other people. Okay? So let's dig deeper into this one by one. Okay? Locutionary act, it refers to what is said or the act of saying. The utterance produces literal meaning. When I say, let's say, for example, from our sample here, I'm upset. You don't need to overthink anything. Okay? I'm directly saying to you that I'm upset. Okay? It could be because of what you've done or something. But it's me expressing to you that I'm upset. I'm not saying I'm okay and then act differently. So as you can see in the picture, she's crying and she's upset. Okay? Very literal. Okay? Doesn't have to overthink what she meant. Okay? So that's what you need to remember when we talk about locutionary. Literal meaning. Straight to the point. Okay? And next, we have illocutionary act. Okay? Here we refer to what the source intends to communicate to the receiver. So, lagi natin tandaan, okay, we still have the speaker and receiver here. Okay? We have to remember those elements of communication. Si source, okay, is our speaker, no? And receiver is the receiver of what the source or the speaker is trying to communicate. The performance of the act of saying something with a specific, again, as I mentioned to you earlier, intention or elocution. Okay? You did something bad. You did something that upset other people. Then, what are you going to do? Okay? I am sorry. I am sorry. And here's what I'm going to do. Okay? You have the intention of saying I'm sorry because you wanted to fix something. You have the intention of saying I'm sorry. Let's end this. Okay? So there's something in beneath. Okay? The words we are saying. Okay? So sometimes we say I'm sorry to someone who lost someone. We said sorry to someone. We don't just hurt. Okay? Just because they're hurting, we feel sorry for them. So again, that's why I put it as an example of illocutionary act. Okay? With so much intention beneath it. Okay? Now let's proceed with perlocutionary. Okay? This one refers to the effect on what was said. Okay, again, how the receiver proceed once they receive that signal, okay, to do something. Okay, let's say for example, someone is upset, no, crying, no, and you said, I promise I'll help you. And so that somebody, okay, receives the signal, okay, that's assurance. Okay? I promise I'll help you. Okay? So, when you say you promise you'll help someone, natural yon. Pag nag-promise ka, natural, aasa yung tao. Okay? So, there's a change in the mood of the person or how they act. Okay? Because you made your promise. Okay? Because promises are meant to be fulfilled, not broken. So again, there will be a change in the act of other people. Ay, nag-promise siya sa akin. Okay, maa-uplift yung burden na dala niya because somebody told you na i-help ka niya. Okay, with this thing that they're going to do. Okay? So yeah, let's try this thing also or this scenario. Very relatable for everybody. Go wash the dishes. No? Galit na. Your mom or your mother asking you to go wash the dishes. So how do we process this in the process of the types, no, of locutionary, illocutionary, and perlocutionary? No? Some of you might be, ay, si mama naman, utos ng utos, kauwi ko lang. Mamaya ka na. Okay? So, maybe we're thinking of that, no? But let's see, how do we act, no? When somebody or our mother told us, go wash the dishes. Okay? Ayan. So, wala ka naman choice but to actually wash the dishes. No? In locutionary act, this is your mom telling you, go wash the dishes. Okay? And illocutionary, the mother, no, and the speaker is angry to you na. Okay? Because she's asking or requesting you, receiver, to actually wash the dishes. And once you get that signal from your mother, you have to stand, no, and actually wash the dishes. Okay? So that's how locutionary, illocutionary, and perlocutionary works. I tell you something, I have this intention, you have to do this. Okay? So, yan. Next, now let's proceed with indirect speech acts. Just I mentioned to you earlier, there are speakers, no, and all of us, of course, there are instances or scenario that we do not explicitly say something, no, our intended meaning behind our utterances, no. Sometimes we're very implicit, no. We like to make parinig, no. This term in Filipino, parinig, no, meaning we don't directly say to people, no, how we feel, how we want them to act, what we want to receive. Okay? We like to make parinig. No? But how would other people understand how we feel if we're not going to say it to them? Okay? So, but, okay, indirect speech acts literally exist. No? Those people who loves to have guessing games, no? Push and pull with other people. They love to do implicit, no? Speech act, meaning they're not directly telling you exactly, no? What they wanted you to do. Let's say, for example, in a scenario in a classroom, as you can see here, no? You can see students who are, chatting with each other, playing with each other, no? And the teacher will just say, "Ay, it's so noisy in here." Oh, and what do the teacher actually want you to do? Oh, it's so noisy in here, Titus. And then tatahimik yan, no? Walang sasabihin, no? Cold gaming, cold war, no? And if your teacher told you na it's so noisy in here, okay, your perlocutionary here, no, is to simply, no, be quiet. Okay, so that's what the teacher is actually, trying to say to you. Okay, now let's proceed to performatives, no? Yan. Performatives, no? These are statements which enable the speaker to perform something just by simply stating it. Okay? So these are not performatives that you know in the social norm. That performative, no, believes about doing something that will make them feel accepted or doing the norms, no, of the society. The performatives that we're talking about here in speech act are the ones that we are actually performing. Okay? Performing means no, we're true to our words. That's what we meant with performatives. Okay? Let's say, for example, here, the guy proposing to the girl, will you marry me? Huh? Will you marry me? And then imagine being proposed to. No? And then, of course, if the girl said yes, you're going to marry that person. Okay? So that's how you perform. If you promise in your vow that we're going to be together in sickness, in health, in poor, in wealth, you have to perform that because you have promised that. No? That's how you're going to perform. Also, you making promises to your teacher, I'm going to submit this to this, just extend this, I'm going to perform. Right? So that's what performatives that we are talking about in terms of speech act. Because again, word is equivalent to action. So meaning you have to perform something. Okay? And just by simply stating it. Okay? And now let's quickly proceed with classification of speech act. No? We have assertive, directive, commissive, expressive, and declarative. So again, all of these are speech act. No? Some of them might fall with locutionary, illocutionary, perlocutionary. Okay? So let's talk first about assertive. Assertive meaning, okay, you have your claim or you expresses your hard belief on something that you think that is true of your proposition. Okay, I've told you countless time already. Let's say, for example, in your speech, I want you to talk about your truth. Okay, I want you to talk about something that you are confident that you have a claim. Okay, and that is assertive. Okay, this one also commits the speaker to something. Okay, being the case. No, let's say for example, evidence, way facts that you want to tell other people or you want to share to other people. Okay, then assertive is that word. Okay, that we probably no looking for. Again, when you claim something that is true and you feel like it's the truth based on the evidence, no, based on the facts that you have with you, supported with evidence, then that is assertive. Okay, now, let's proceed with directive. Okay, here, directive, this is where people no got lost most of the time. Some people still are having a hard time no following directions and instructions. No, directive is very simple. No, our speaker, let's say for example here, your teacher tries to make the receiver perform an action. Oh, try to submit your paper from okay side to the aisle and then forward, and then you have to do that. Okay, oh, Titus, I want you to deliver your speech in a mode that it's recorded, then submit it to the drive, and then you're going to follow my instruction. That is directive. Okay? And next, we have commissive. Okay? So one of my favorite classifications of speech act is commissive because this one deals about the speaker committed no to doing something in the future. It's not just basic no making promises no but actually committed to do something in the future. Let's say for example SJA, COMELEC, no members of the clubs no questions to them of the club moderators advisor is how committed you are no to do all of these tasks of a club member or an org member because it's not a joke being part of an organization or a club. Okay, so again, commissive talks about how the speaker commits no, in doing something okay, in the present time and in the future also. Okay, how is that an speech out, Miss Speech, if it could be done pa okay, in the future? Okay, again, remember perlocutionary. Okay, there are words we say that we act no later on even though we intend to do it in the illocutionary part no it's like a process no we literally say this thing illocutionary is intention and perlocutionary is how you proceed. Okay, in this case of commissive, now what we're talking about is how committed you are that you're going to do something. Okay, in the future, I'll wash the dishes later. Okay, so you have to be specific with the goal no when it comes to time, so you have to remember the smart no dapat time bound. Okay? Ang commitment natin. Okay, let's say for example, right now, clubs, no, or organizations are preparing for intramurals. Okay, so how committed they are that they're going to submit this paper, okay, during this time, during this period. Okay, so that's how commissive works. Okay, and next. All right, we also have expressive. Okay, expressive. Okay, deals with how we expresses, no, how we feel about the situation. Okay, this is what I'm talking about earlier. How would other people know how you feel if you're not going to tell them or if you're not going to express it? I understand some people are not born, okay, expressive. Even Mom Page, no, teaching oral communication, but believe it or not, no, there are a lot of concepts in oral communication that I know to myself, no, very assertive ako with my claim. I know to myself that I don't really apply it fully, no, because we have our boundaries, no, we have our so-called walls, no, facade that we put there, no, because we don't want to appear vulnerable to other people. But then again, speech acts and the source or the core purpose of oral communication is for us to learn how to express ourselves. Okay, how are we going to uh, depend ourselves, support ourselves, no? If we're not going to express what we feel about the situation, what we think about the situation. I'm not telling you to become too opinionated, no? But some point in your life, you have to always speak up. You cannot remain neutral at all times. Okay? Me personally, I don't believe in neutrality. You have to pick sides. Okay? At some point in your lives. No, and now, when you start working, no, being in college, no, you have to really express yourselves. Not everything will be spoon fed, okay, to us humans, okay. So humans are naturally born to express themselves, okay. Mas lalo na po, no, our emotions and our feelings, no, it's not meant to be bottled up, no, it meant to be regulated, and the only way for us to regulate it is to share it to other people, okay. And next, declarative is the most powerful among these classifications of speech. Why is that so? Declarative change the state of the world. When I say world, not the whole world, no, the state of the world in that particular context you are in an immediate way. Let's say, for example, I end this online class and then leave. No, immediately I declare something and then okay na. Okay? When the president of the Philippines declares that we are in pandemic, okay, it totally changed, no? The Philippines and basically the whole world, no? Lahat tayo lockdown, lockout, okay? Kasi there are threats, no? Declarative are powerful, no? The way we declare something, no, is very powerful. That's why there are people who believes na, oh, let's declare it so it will happen, okay? There's really a power in our words, no? There are sayings nga that words cut deeper, no, than knife, no? Our tongues are really sharp, no? There's something about words, no, that when we say it to other people, it truly affects them, how they feel about themselves and such. Okay, so again, declarative just solely talks about how when we declare something can totally change, no, the context, the situation, and even the whole world that we are in a very immediate way. Let's say, for example, a priest, no, say that, okay, now you may now kiss your wife. Okay, now you are, okay, married couple. Okay, wala na. Okay, wala ka ng takas. Oh, you have to be responsible husband and responsible wife. Okay, so that's how powerful words are. Okay, yan. Yeah, if ever you have questions or concerns, just kindly leave it to our comment section in the Google Classroom. I hope this video, no, reach you well and help you prepare with your examination. By the way, have also prepared your reviewer and you can find it in your Google Classroom. Okay? So I want to end this presentation with this no quotation from the works of Rosa Maria Aguado. No? She said that words and actions are powerful enough to appease the heart or incite a war. No? Our words can fully comfort other people, motivate them, make them feel safe, and our words are enough also to start a war in the mind and the heart of other people. So today, I'm asking no everybody to remain kind is and say no something kind to other people. Okay, libre lang maging kind. Okay? Yan. So I hope Speech Act taught you something, no? Not just its concept and its theories, no, from JL Austin, but how we treat other people. Okay, and of course ourselves. So thank you and God bless you all, Titus.